Hey, it's Chef Austin here with everythingkitchens.com, and today we're going to be showing you how to cook with PFAS-free cookware. If you're worried about cooking with non-stick cookware and you're looking for alternatives, you're not alone. We've put together this guide to show you the top 4 chemical-free alternatives to PFAS cookware. We're going to be taking a look at stainless steel, ceramic non-stick, enamel cast iron, and bare cast iron cookware, and how to cook non-stick in each of them. Before we get started, if you want a more in-depth look at the cookware we're using today, you can check out our blog and the link in the description below. The one thing all this cookware has in common is how to get it heated up to the correct temperature. And there are a couple methods of how to do that. The first method we're going to show you is called the Leidenfrost effect, otherwise known as the water test. If the water does nothing or lightly sizzles, the pan is not hot enough. If the water beads up and dances around, you've hit the perfect temperature. If your water beads up and explodes, your pan is too hot. This test works great if your pan has a smooth surface. If it has a rough surface, this test may not work for you. Another way you can tell if your pan is correctly preheated is by placing your hand over it. If you can hold your hand here longer than 5 seconds, it's not hot enough. If you can hold your hand here for just a couple of seconds, it's probably too hot. But if you can hold your hand here for exactly 5 seconds with just minimal discomfort, it's ready to go. Ceramic pans are the easiest answer to chemical-free cookware. These pans are naturally non-stick out of the box and they're easy to use. We're gonna cook in our ceramic non-stick pan now. For ceramic non-stick, you do not have to use nearly as much oil as you do for other pans. The coating is very slick on its own, so we're only going to add a very small drizzle of oil. That's about all we'll really need. Crack our egg. For ceramic non-stick pans, you never want to use metal utensils on the surface. It will start to scratch it and deteriorate its non-stick properties. Only use wooden or silicone tools. Ceramic non-stick pans are very easy to use right out of the box. They don't require special seasoning, and you can use a very small amount of oil. There are a few things you need to know about cooking with these pans though. The first thing you should never do with your ceramic non-stick pans is use a very high heat setting. High heat can damage the special non-stick coating on your ceramic pans. These pans may be very non-stick now, but they don't really last all too long. In about 2 to 4 years, you will have to replace your pan as the coating does wear down over time. If you start to see deep scratches, chips, and pits in your cookware, it's time to replace it. Also, the quality of these styles of pans greatly varies from brand to brand, so be sure to check out reviews before you invest into ceramic pans. Stainless steel is not non-stick out of the box, so you're going to have to cook with more fats and oils to prevent food from sticking. And there is a learning curve to maintaining the right heat and using the right amount of oil. And not all stainless steel pans are created equally. Cheaply constructed pans don't heat well and can lead to unevenly cooked food. Look for fully clad 3 to 5 ply stainless steel pans. Stainless steel is fast reacting cookware material. When you change the heat level on your stove, stainless steel will quickly heat up or cool down, giving you the most control when you're cooking. It's easy to maintain and doesn't require seasoning or any special maintenance. Once our pan is properly preheated, we need to oil the pan. So you can use oil, you could use butter. I'm going to use oil today. And we want to add enough oil basically to coat the bottom of the pan. Don't skimp with stainless steel, otherwise your food will stick. So we've got enough oil and you can see a slight shimmer on it now. That means the oil has heated and we're ready to add in our eggs. So the important thing with stainless steel is to leave the food alone. We want to let this egg cook If we start to try and move it around right now, we're going to break our egg. But as the food naturally cooks, it will release from the stainless steel surface and we'll have a nice non-stick glidey egg pretty soon. So when you do have enough oil in your pan, you should be able to slide your egg or your food around pretty freely. So a couple of pro tips if you're having trouble cooking with stainless steel. If your pan is too hot, your food can stick. If your pan is too cold, your food could stick. So if you get your pan at the right temperature, your food will have the greatest chance to not stick. The other thing that causes your food to stick in your pan is not adding enough oil. You can see we added a good amount of oil in here so that our egg can freely move around. And that's very important to get that layer of oil in here so you can easily cook your food frustration-free.
Cast iron is one of the oldest and naturally non-stick styles of cookware. You may hear about seasoning your cast iron. Seasoning involves heating a thin layer of oil in the pan until it polymerizes, creating the non-stick surface. Keep in mind that cast iron is very heavy. Be prepared for special care and maintenance with cast iron, like the seasoning process. Cooking acidic foods like tomatoes and cast iron can also strip the seasoning.
Let's cook some eggs in our cast iron skillet. We're gonna add some oil into the bottom of our pan. And you won't need as much oil with a well-seasoned cast iron pan as you would, say, with stainless steel or the enameled non-stick. So we are going to swirl it around, get it coated on the bottom of our pan, and we'll crack an egg in here. Cast iron is a very thick material, so if you change the heat on your stove, it will take a minute or so for the pan to heat up and match the stove setting. So after letting your food sit for just a few minutes, you can see we have a great natural non-stick surface. Here's some tips for cooking with cast iron cookware. On your stove's heat setting, you're going to want to stick with low to medium heat settings. If you cook too high of a heat, your food will start to stick. Cast iron's very thick walls do retain much of the heat that your stove outputs, so you can cook at lower temperatures.
Enameled cast iron has all the benefits of bare cast iron with added beauty and easier maintenance. Unlike bare cast iron with specific cleaning and maintenance requirements, enameled cast iron has an added glass-like coating that's easy to clean and maintain. Simply wash with soap and water, no seasoning required.
Cooking with enameled cast iron is similar to cooking with stainless steel. You'll want to start with your preheated pan, which might take a little bit longer than your stainless steel pan, but you're going to add a similar amount of oil, enough to coat the bottom. Be generous. And then we'll wait for our oil to get hot, start to shimmer. With enamel cast iron, you'll also want to leave your food undisturbed. Once the food starts to cook, it will naturally release from the bottom of the pan. A couple of tips about cooking with enameled cast iron. You can cook at a lower temperature on your stove. So for this particular pan, I was cooking at a low, medium-low heat, or a setting 4 out of 10 on my stove. Compared that with the stainless steel pan we just used, I was cooking that at a level 6 heat. So the thicker walls of enamel cast iron do retain much more heat, and you can use a lower heat setting.
Enamel cast iron has similar cons to bare cast iron. It is heavy and slow to react to heat changes. Since no natural seasoning builds up on the pan, it is more prone to food sticking. The enamel coating can also chip or crack from improper use.
If you're in the market for a new set of PFAS-free cookware, you can check the link in the description and you'll see all of our top recommendations. If you guys like this video, be sure to give us a like and to subscribe to Everything Kitchens for more great kitchen content. If you had any questions at all about what you saw today, you can leave us a comment below and we'll get back to you. We'll see you next time.